Good day everyone. I'm about to discuss the chapter 2. It's all about safety rules for the installation and maintenance of electric supply station and equipment. Article 2.1 Purpose and Scope of Rules. Purpose. The purpose of this chapter is the practical safeguarding of persons during installation, operation, or maintenance of electric supply station and their associated equipment. Scope. This chapter covers the electric supply, conductors, and equipment, along with the associated structural arrangement in electric supply stations that are accessible only to qualified personnel. It is also covers the conductors and equipment employed primarily for the utilization of electric power when such conductors and equipment are used by the utility in the exercise of its function as utility. Application of rules. The general requirements for application of these rules are contained in Rule 1.1.4. Reference section. The introduction is in Article 1.1. The definition is in Article 1.2. The reference is in Article 1.3, and the grounding methods are in Article 1.4. Shall apply the requirements of Chapter 2. Let's start with Article 2.2. Protective arrangement in electric supply station. General General requirements. Enclosure of equipment. Types of enclosure. Rooms and spaces in which electrical supply conductors or equipment are installed shall be arranged with fences, screens, partitions, or walls to form an enclosure as to limit the likelihood of entrance of unauthorized person or interference by them with the equipment inside. Entrances not under observation of an authorized attendant shall be kept locked. A safety sign shall be displayed at each entrance for fence electric supply station. A safety sign shall be displayed on each side. Metal fence, when used to enclose electric supply station having energized electric conductors or equipment, shall have a height not less than 2.13 overall and shall be grounded in accordance with Article 1.4. The requirements for fence height may be satisfied with any one of the following: fence fabric 2.4 meters or more in height, a combination of 1.8 meters or more, or of fence fabric and an extension utilizing 3 or more strands of barbed wire to achieve an overall height of the fence of not less than 2.3 meters. Other type of construction such as non-metallic material that presents equivalent barrier to climbing or other unauthorized entry. Safety clearance zone. Fences or walls, when installed as barrier for unauthorized personnel, shall be located such that exposed live parts are outside the safety clearance zone, depending on the type of barrier as follows: a metal chain link fence or equivalent barrier, as illustrated in Figure 2.2.1, shall have an R value equal to or greater than the specified in Table 2.2.1, where an impenetrable barrier is used, such as fence, partition, or wall with no openings through which sticks or other objects can be inserted. The sum of the values of R1 and barrier height as illustrated in Figure 2.2.1 shall be equal to or greater than the sum of dimension R as specified in Table 2.2.1 plus 1.5 meters. The impenetrable barrier does not have to cover the entire wall or fence. Only those portions that would not be compliance with dimensions or figure 2.2.1 and table 2.2.1 having a width such such that minimum distance from the outer edge of impenetrable barrier to the nearest energized part shall be equal to or greater than the dimension. Exception: the safety clearance zone requirement is not applicable to internal fences within an electrical supply station perimeter. So as you can see, there are the clearance zone or the the distance from the live parts to the wall or barbed wire or fence, and there are the limit of height of the fence is 1.5 meters. Safety clearance to electric supply station impenetrable fences. So these are the limit distance from live parts to the fences. Example: for nominal voltage between pieces in 0.151 to 7.2 kilovolts, the limit of the distance from the live parts to the fences is 3 meters, and for the typical bill 95 kilovolts have a limit of 3 meters. Rooms and spaces. All rooms and spaces in which electrical supply equipment is installed shall comply with the following requirements. Construction. They shall be as much as practical non-combustible. This rule is not intended to prevent wood poles from being used to support conductors or equipment in electric supply. So it means that they should be using non-combustible materials like metals, but it is not intended to stop using wood poles for support conductors. Use: they should be as much practical, free from combustible materials, dust and fumes, and shall be not used for manufacturing or for storage. Exception: materials, equipment, and vehicles essential for maintenance of the installation equipment may be stored if guarded or separated from live parts as required by Rule 2.3.5. Exception number 2: material, equipment, and vehicles related to station, transmission, or distribution construction or maintenance work may be stored in the station if located in an area separated from the station electric supply equipment by a fence meeting the requirements of Rule. Exception number 3: material, equipment, and vehicles related to station, transmission, and distribution construction and maintenance work in progress may be temporarily located in a storage space meeting of all the following requirements. The following requirements are guarded or separated from live parts as required by Rule 2.3.5, and the station exists continue to meet the requirements of Rule 2.2.4. Station working space continues to meet the requirements of Rule 2.3.6. Access is limited to qualified personnel and persons escorted by qualified personnel. The storage location and current is such that the risk of fire does not unreasonably jeopardize station operation. For battery areas, see Article 2.5. For guarding, see Rule 2.3.5. For auxiliary equipment in classified location, see Rule 2.3. Ventilation. There should be sufficient ventilation to maintain operating temperature within ratings arranged to minimize accumulation of airborne or contaminants under any operating conditions. So it shall have ventilation to maintain operating temperatures. Moisture and weather, they should be dry in outer station or station in wet tunnels, subways, or other moist or high humidity location. Equipment shall be suitable designed to withstand the prevailing atmospheric condition. Electric equipment. All stationary equipment shall be supported and secured in a manner consistent with reasonable expected condition of service. Consideration shall be given to the fact that certain heavy equipment, such as transformer, can be used secured in place by their weight. However, equipment that generates dynamic force during operation may require appropriate additional measures. Illumination. Under normal conditions, outdoor lighting is not required at attended station. Permanent or portable lighting may be used during such times that personnel perform work in station at night. Rooms and spaces shall be have provision for artificial illumination while untended illumination levels not less than those listed in Table 2.2.2.1 are recommended for safety to be maintained on task. Emergency lighting. A separate emergency source of illumination with automatic initiation from an independent generator, storage battery, or other suitable source shall be provided in every attendance station. Emergency lighting of 11 lux shall be provided in exit path from all areas of attended stations. Consideration must be given to the type of service to be rendered, whether of short or long duration. The minimum duration shall be 1 to 1.5 hours. It is recommended that emergency circuit wiring shall be kept independent of all other wiring and equipment. Features. Arrangement for permanent fixed features and plug receptacle shall be such that portable cords need to be brought into dangerous proximity to live or moving parts. All lighting shall be controlled and serviced from safety accessible location. Attachment plugs and receptacles for general use. Portable conductors shall be attached to fixed wiring only through separable attachment plugs that will be disconnect all poles by one operation. Receptacles installed on 2 or 3 wires single phase as branch circuit shall be of the grounding type. Receptacles connected to circuit having different voltage, frequencies, or types of current, AC or DC, on the same premises shall be such as design that attachment plug used in such circuit are not interchangeable. Receptacles in damp or wet location. All to 30 volts AC permanent receptacles for lighting shall either be provided with ground fault interrupter or GCFI protection or be on a grounded circuit that is tested at such interval as experience has shown to be necessary. Floors, floor openings, passageways, and stairs. Floors shall have even surface and afford secure footings. Slippery floors or stairs should be provided with anti-slip covering. Passageways, including stairways, shall be unobstructed and shall, where practical, provided at least 2.13 meters headroom. Where the preceding requirements are not practical, the obstruction should be painted, marked, or indicated by safety signs and area properly lighted. Railings. All floor openings without gratings or other adequate cover and rise platform and walkways in excess of 300 millimeters in height shall be provided with railings. Openings in railings for units such as fixed ladders, cranes, and the like shall be provided with adequate guards such as grates, chains, or sliding pipe section. Stair guards. All stairways consisting of four or more risers shall be provided with handrails. Notes for additional information, see ENSI American National Safety Requirements for Workplace Floor and Wheel Openings. Top rails. All top rails shall be kept unobstructed from a distance of 75 millimeters in all directions except from below at supports 2.2.4 exit. Exit. Clear exit. Each room or space and each working space about equipment shall have a means of exit which shall be kept clear of all obstruction. Double exit. If the plan of the room or space and the character and arrangement of equipment are such that an accident would be likely to close or make inaccessible a single exit, a second exit shall be provided. Exit doors. Exit doors shall swing out be equipped with panic bars, pressure plates, or other devices that are normally latched but open under simple pressure. Exception: this rule does not apply to exit doors in buildings and rooms containing low-voltage, non-explosive equipment and to gates in fences for outdoor equipment installation. Fire extinguisher equipment. Fire extinguisher equipment approved for the intended use shall be conveniently located and conspicuously marked in accordance with implementing rules and regulations of the Fire Code of the Philippines, IRR Rule 6, Secondary 6.101 through 6.114. Exception: this rule does not apply to unmanned outdoor substations that do not contain a control building of similar building. This rule is not intended to require permanently installed fire extinguisher or fire extinguishment system in all electrical supply stations or in all areas of large complex station. Illumination level. So for the highly critical areas occupied most the time, the limit of lux is 270. Area occupied most of the time, the limit is 160. Critical areas occupied infrequently, the limit is 110. Areas occupied infrequently, 55. Generating station exterior. Building pedestrian main entrance, 110. Critical areas, 55. Areas occupied occasionally by pedestrians, 22. Areas occupied occasionally by vehicles, 11. Areas occupied infrequently, 5.5. Remote areas, 2.2. Substation. Control building interior 55, general 22, remote areas 2.2. Such as chemical laboratory, large centralized control room 1.68 meters above floor, section of duplex facing away from operator, bench board, horizontal level, dispatch board, horizontal plane desk level, dispatch board, vertical face of board 1.22 meters above floor facing operator, system load dispatch room, such as ordinary control room 1.68 meters above floor, secondary dispatch room, turbine room, such as auxiliaries, battery areas, boiler feed pumps, tanks, compressor gauge area, burner platforms, hydrogen and carbon dioxide manifold area, screen house, power switchgear, telephone equipment room, turbine bay, subbasement, visitor gallery, water treating area, such as air conditioning equipment, air preheater and fan floors, as sluicing, boiler platforms, cable room, circulator or pump bay, coal conveyor, crusher, feeder, scale area, pulverizer, fan area, transfer tower, condensers, deaerator floor, evaporator floor, heater floors, area inside duplex, switchboards, rear or all switchboard panels, vertical, precipitators, soot or slag blower platform, steam headers and throttles, piping tunnels or galleries, such as coal unloading dock, loading or unloading zone, coal unloading car, dumper, gate house, conveyor entrance, fuel oil delivery headers, platform, boiler, turbine deck, such as catwalks, coal unloading depot, conveyors, secondary building entrance, such as oil storage tanks, roadway between or along buildings, such as oil unloading barge storage area, roadway not bothered by buildings, such as cinder dams, fins, open yard, such as fins and open yard. And that is all. Thank you.